Oh my goodness, you are in such a good place right now. It might not feel like it, but you really, really are. All of the actions that you take right now are going to multiply tenfold. Everything that you do right now is going to come back to you. I have a feeling that you have been maybe scrolling for a little bit more than you want to admit. Maybe you have been searching for that step, searching for that sign, searching for the courage to take that action, to know what your future is going to look like. And I want you to know that if this video found you, that you are in an amazing, amazing place. I rarely use the word luck, but you are in a really lucky position right now. Everything that you do right now is going to come back to you in the most amazing and fruitful way. And in this video, we're going to dive into exactly what's coming up for you in your energetic journey. We're going to do a little oracle card reading, and I'm going to share with you some information that is channeled from the Arcturian Council and Source of Divine Light so that you can know exactly what is going on in your spiritual journey. What are the actions you should be taking? What are the things that you should be avoiding? And the reason that I'm filming this video today is actually to celebrate a really beautiful milestone. I wanted to say thank you to you for subscribing to this channel. We just surpassed over 2,000 subscribers, and this is so exciting for me because I've been posting on social media for over 15 years, and I've absolutely loved little clips, like 30-second, 60-second, 90-second videos. But as we've gone deeper and deeper into these deeper topics, soul fragmentation, where you're at in your spiritual journey, your personal spirit guides, all of that deeper information, sometimes we need a platform that we can have deeper conversations. So I absolutely love having been able to share these podcast episodes here with you, and getting to sit together every single week and dive into these conversations together. I love seeing all of your comments. I see all of them, and it is so encouraging for me, and it's so beautiful to see how these videos are resonating with you. What are the messages that you are taking away from them and how they are impacting you in your life? I also love to get messages about the amazing things that you're manifesting. My inbox is always open. You can message me over on Instagram, and I just love hearing from you over there. So I just wanted to say thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for contributing your beautiful energy here, and thank you for being in this journey of elevating our personal frequency, stepping into our power, being somebody that we would personally be jealous of or be inspired by in this earth. This is what it is to be the best version of yourself. And I want to just give you the biggest virtual hug right now for taking the steps to do that, for even just clicking on this video, whether this is the first video that you've watched or if you've been a part of this community for a while. I just want to thank you, and thank you for all of the beautiful conversations that we've been having, and just cheers to you, to all of the beautiful and amazing conversations that are going to be happening in the future. I'm so excited. Speaking of cheers, I actually have my coffee that I'm just finishing right now, and inside my everyday coffee I put all of my supplements so that I can just take them all at once. I like to use lion's mane. I've been using lion's mane for quite some time for all of my CPTSD warriors, for all of my ADHD warriors, or just anyone who's wanting a little bit more positivity, a little bit more raising your personal frequency. I cannot recommend lion's mane enough. I've been taking it for so long that I've actually used all different types of brands, and my personal analysis is that there are different qualities depending on the brand that you use. So I really like this brand called Anima Mundi. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but it is so delicious, and that's what I'm drinking this morning. I would love to hear what you're drinking down in the comments down below, but without further ado, let's hop into today's reading. I am filming this on not only a Monday, which is a moon day, the perfect day for self-care, the perfect day to pour into your mind, your body, and your soul, but I'm also filming this on the Aries full moon. And the Aries full moon is one of the most powerful full moons of the year. This is considered to be a harvest moon. And so many different ancient cultures and philosophies and traditional ways of thinking really see this moon as a very, very big deal. So it is a really big deal that we have gathered here today to be able to talk about these things. Even if you're not watching it here on this day, that you are going to receive the energy through this video. And the energy of this moon is all about letting go. It's all about transformation, and it's all about letting go so that you can step into a new reality. So often we want more things, right? We want more inner peace. We want more money. We want more love. We want more dates. We want more clothes. There's more things that we want. And the path to achieving more is to letting go of the things that have been taking up a lot of space in our nervous system and a lot of space in our auric field. This morning I was actually going live over on TikTok and somebody was asking me about this, and the metaphor that came up was like getting a new couch. I have a couch in every single room in my house. If I were to want a new couch that is more elevated and more aligned with me and makes me feel more clean and in my vibe and really matches my personal style, I'm gonna have to get rid of one of my old couches. And this is what we call healing, getting rid of things, letting go of things. So often people think that we can't do both healing and manifestation at the same time, but that is actually how it works. We need to heal, we need to let go in order to call in more. So the process for me of finding this couch is actually a perfect metaphor for what we're doing on a spiritual and energetic level. We have to acknowledge, hey, there's something in my house that does not fit the rest of me. It doesn't align with me. It doesn't make me feel like my best self. There's something within me. Maybe it's an insecurity. Maybe it's a mindset. Maybe it's a belief. Maybe it's a habit. Maybe it's something that you're doing first thing in the morning every single day. There's something that does not fit. It does not align. And by pulling everything into alignment, we're going to become aware that, oh my gosh, this couch really doesn't align. It's falling apart. It smells so bad. It's making my whole house smell so bad and decreasing the overall vibration of my home. So this is going to now be a process. Now I've become aware of what the problem is, and I need to disassemble the couch. I need to find a new couch that is more aligned and make that move. That's probably not going to happen in the instant that I become aware. And it's definitely not going to happen if the second I become aware of my smelly couch, I start to be mean to my smelly couch or be mean to myself and be like, oh my God, I can't believe that you have this disgusting couch and who would ever sit on that, and that's so gross and your house is disgusting and blah, 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 blah. That is not a nice thing to do. And this is often what we do when it comes to the things that we're letting go of, our limiting beliefs, our old value systems, the things that we do not align with anymore. We start to talk crap about them. We think that the more that we can distance ourselves from these things, the easier it's going to be to let go of them. But it's actually the opposite. The more that we appreciate something, the easier it is to let go of it. That couch at one point was brand new. That couch, even though it's smelly now, it's smelly because it had so many amazing memories on it, right? Think of all the movie nights that we had on that couch. Think of all the snacks that we spilled on that couch because of all of the yummy food that we had, right? So this is what it's like to have a limiting belief or a limiting mindset or something that we are letting go of. At one point in our life, we loved it. It served us. It was in full alignment. That's why we got it in the first place. And as you evolve and as you grow, the things that were once in alignment with you, you grow out of them. And we get to get rid of them. And maybe those are insecure thoughts about ourselves. Maybe it has to do with our self-identity. Maybe it has to do with our habits. Maybe it is about a couch. Maybe this is a time that you really can deep clean, declutter, organize. If your home is not, like if you don't open the door to your home and you're like, oh, my sanctuary, then that is your sign by itself. Like there's so many signs in this video. That is your sign to clean your home. because you deserve a space that makes you feel that way. You deserve a space that is aligned with you, that reflects all of the goodness in your heart and in your soul. And you're going to hear the word sign a lot in this video because that is also like a really big download for right now, that you are the sign. So often we are waiting for a sign. We're waiting for someone to say, to hold up a pendulum and confirm for us, like, yes, the answer is yes. And you can get that if you want that. Excuse me. But you also can trust that if you have a desire in your heart, if you want to dye your hair, if you want to paint your nails red, that is the sign. That itself is your own divine guidance. And so often we don't trust our own inner guidance. We don't think it's enough of a sign, but this is channeled. This is for you. This is the message for you. If you take absolutely nothing else away from this video, that you are the sign. Wanting something is enough of a sign. Seeing someone drive by in a pink car and suddenly feeling an urge of jealousy, that is your sign. Because another person's gonna see that pink car and go, ew, like, why is there a pink car driving down the street, right? What is meant for us will never miss us, but you can't keep missing the signs and can't keep not honoring and valuing that information. That information comes through your emotions. That emotion of like, oh, I hate the way that this feels, or I don't like how this is going for me. Like, that is enough of a sign to get rid of it. That is enough of a reason to change something in your life. And so often we've been programmed to wait until something is absolutely unbearable to change it. This is your reminder that you don't have to wait until that moment. Take a second right now, or maybe after this video, and really ask yourself, what are the things that have been coming up for you recently? Because this is exactly what the steps are that you can take to build that dream life. Maybe you're really annoyed by the dishes in the sink. That is the step to build your dream life. Making a system to elevate those dishes, to elevate your home so that you no longer have piles of dishes in the sink. So there's so many different ways to do this, but let's dive into the cards so that we can get into exactly what your reading is for today. And I'm really, really excited. I hope that you're excited, and comment below if you are also feeling all of the good vibes in this video. So let's just hop in. Of course, the first one, letting go creates space for me to receive. You guys, there's no way for me to pick these cards. I have hundreds and hundreds of cards that I picked through, and I asked for excuse me. I asked for any divine guidance for us regarding this full moon, regarding collective energy, and this is what came through. Letting go creates space for me to receive. This is exactly what we're talking about when we're talking about combining both healing and manifesting. In order to call more in order to have even more positive thoughts or positive vibes, or like more positivity in the morning, more, in order to have more, we need to take inventory of what we have going on and get rid of the things that are not serving us. Maybe those are habits like staying up late and scrolling. Maybe that is arguing in your own head. A lot of times we are in like mental habits. We don't even realize that they're habits because it's not an action in this world. But something that I noticed at one point in my journey was that every time I would get in the shower, I would find myself like in arguments in my own head. I would be arguing with my childhood bullies about things that they said to me. I would be coming up with that comeback 10 years later and things like that. That is the opposite of letting something go. I'm keeping this alive. I'm festering on it. I'm building it. This is a very egotistical thing to do, because at that time that we felt bullied, we felt very small. We felt very insecure. We were made to feel that way. So here I am 10 years later, proving to myself that I can win that fight, that I can create repair, like I can repair that wound every single day by reliving that argument, by saying the comeback that I couldn't come up with when I was much younger, all of that kind of stuff. It is time for us to realize, yes, that may have happened in the past, but we're actually sabotaging ourselves right here in this moment, because by constantly having that argument playing out, by constantly coming up with a comeback, by reliving the embarrassing thing that we did, we are actually exhausting our own energetic field. We are grinding our own gears. It's like being on a hamster that's just running and running and running and running on this wheel. And then we're wondering why we're so tired, why we're so drained, why we're exhausted, why we don't know what the step is to take to create our dream life. It's because we just used all that energy having like an internal argument, an internal tantrum, in order to kind of gas up our ego because we're feeling insecure. So the more self-awareness that we can have, the more that we can stop these processes from happening. And that is the process of letting go, of saying, hey, I am a sacred and divine being. And when I go in the shower, that is my time to reset, to cleanse my energetic body, to step into more positivity, to bring in more manifestation into my life, and to also practice letting go of those old habits that I was using for strength. Replaying those arguments, trying to make sure that I'm staying on top of all of the tasks that I have to do for the rest of the day, rethinking and visualizing all the things that are going to happen in the future. This is all anxiety, right? People say depression is focusing on the past, anxiety is stressing about the future. You're doing both. The opposite of that is practicing actually being present to how the water feels on your body. Actually being present to the sensations that are naturally coming up from your body during the shower, not just in your mind. The more that we let the mind just run the show and spin on that hamster wheel, the crappier life is going to feel as a whole. Even if you have all of the things that are on paper of your dream life, it's not going to feel good. And I say this as someone who has been there. I used to live in the most, like, people would look at my home and my car and my life and they would be like, oh my God, you have nothing to be sad about. And I would be like, honestly, like, I don't feel that way at all. Because when you have a negative mindset, there is no amount of money, there's no amount of fancy cars, there's no amount of things, there's no amount of, I had 6 pools that I could swim in every single day and there was still not enough pools. And it wasn't until I actually started to do some deeper soul searching and ask myself what actually makes me happy, right? Not having as many pools as possible or things like that. What actually makes me happy? And I did a huge, huge lifestyle change. And I actually sold everything that I owned in order to energetically cleanse myself, because our things hold energy. And I moved to where you can currently see. I absolutely love my home. And this home is not only the dream home that other people would be jealous of and things like that, but it's my soul's dream home. This is the home that every single day that I wake up, I'm like, what a blessing. I live outside of a national park. I absolutely love it. I love my community here. And if I was so caught up, afraid to let go of my old reality and my old life and my old mindsets and doing the things that I thought I was supposed to do on paper, then I never would have gotten to experience the alignment that I have now. So often we try so hard to have our foot in 2 realities, right? I want to start a business and change my career and go on these dates and create my dream life, but I also don't want to leave behind the life that I've built so far. We have our feet in both of these places, and that is the definition of not moving anywhere. You need to pick this foot up and let go. Another metaphor for that is like burning the bridges when we go embark on a new territory, when we go to a new land, when we go explore. We're going to burn the boats, burn the bridges back from our homeland, back from where we came from, and go forward into this new future and into this new reality. So that is a metaphor that has really, really worked for me over time. Like, whenever I find myself stuck in old mindsets, old ways of thinking, I always remind myself, burn the ship. Burn the ship. Stop standing in between with your legs split open. Another beautiful metaphor that I learned in an emotional intelligence training that I did was, if you have one leg on each side, then you're pooping on the present moment, right? And we're trying to do the complete opposite of that, right? When you're in the shower, you're thinking about the past, you're thinking about the future, you're pooping on the present moment. And that present moment is the most divine moment of all. A shower in itself is a portal. The day is a portal. Every single day you grow, you can embrace new parts of your journey, you evolve, there's things to see, there's magic that awaits you in every single day. And when we're so caught up in our own mind, we miss out on all of those lessons and on all of that magic. The next card is forgiveness helps me let go and move on with my life, opening up to new and loving experiences. Need I say more? Forgiveness is one of the most powerful things that we can do for ourselves. And one of the most powerful things is really self-forgiveness. Forgiving ourselves for all the late nights that we spent scrolling, forgiving ourselves for not knowing better. Because when we know better, we can do better. But until we know better, we can't. And that's okay. Until you found this video, until you heard that same phrase for the 8th time and it was able to really click into your subconscious mind, it didn't click. And you can forgive yourself for being where you were in the past and embrace where you are now in your journey. Self-forgiveness is one of the most powerful things that we can truly give to ourselves. It is a gift. And this is a gift that you will never, ever regret giving to yourself. I've never once looked back and been like, oh my God, I shouldn't have forgiven myself for that. Ever. And self-forgiveness is also not something that is really taught. As a child, I was taught how to hug and make up when somebody like hurts your feelings on the playground in kindergarten, but were you really taught how to forgive yourself when you make a mistake? So many of us weren't, and I know that I wasn't. So this was a lesson that I had to teach myself as an adult. And this card coming up for you could mean that it's time for you to dive a little bit deeper into that lesson, that self-forgiveness might be the path for you to let go of those old arguments that you were having, let go of coming up with the comebacks that you were coming up with, and all of the things that you were kind of spinning and doing in your own mind. You can really let go of those things now. So the next card that we have is my intuition is strong and clear and I can trust the voice that I have within. These cards are also butterfly affirmation cards. They are so, so beautiful. And the butterfly is the symbol of transformation. The butterfly, we often think of it as this like fluttery, fairy, light being, and it totally is. It totally, totally is. But there's also a dark side to the butterfly, and that is that the butterfly self-destructs in order to become a butterfly. If you didn't know about the life cycle of a caterpillar to a butterfly, it is actually a horrific life cycle. And so just tapping into some butterfly energy shows just the transformation that you're going on, the self-trust that you are going to pick up along this way. The butterfly life cycle is so interesting because this caterpillar, like, I thought I was literally just recently watching videos of caterpillars, and even knowing this information about the butterfly, I was absolutely mind blown and also like a little bit disgusted. So just keep that in mind if you're gonna watch some caterpillar videos as they develop their chrysalis and turn into a butterfly. I did not realize that the chrysalis is actually the caterpillar. A caterpillar does not spin a chrysalis. The caterpillar just hardens its outer skin, and then it just fully like disintegrates on the inside. And what's happening on the inside of a chrysalis is that the inner like guts and organs of the caterpillar are liquefying and then becoming this butterfly with wings that can fly. If you if that is not magic, I do not know what is. And also thinking about this from the perspective of the caterpillar, because you are kind of the caterpillar in this situation. We are literally creating a chrysalis of our own limiting beliefs and things like that, all of these old things. And all of this is around us, and we're like, okay, yes, I can see that all of this is like encasing me right now. And I am going to fully trust in myself to surrender, to let it all go, to fully step into this new version of me, to develop habits that I might not even be able to visualize for myself right now, to step into a career that I cannot maybe even see for myself right now. Maybe the relationship that is on my horizon, or the way that my relationship is going to evolve, is going to be like, I am fully transforming into my higher self right now. You are going from a walking being, the caterpillar, to a flying being. And this is a soul initiation. In our Western culture, if you're from the US, how I am, we don't have many huge soul initiations in our lifetime. It's not built into our culture, into our society. But your soul doesn't stop going through these portals and through these initiations. And this video in itself marks for you a massive initiation. Maybe you are currently stepping into that chrysalis, maybe you've been in it for a while, or maybe this is you emerging from the chrysalis. I'm getting that it's the third for most of us, but we can all be at different phases of our journey here. Taking action right now, I'm literally feeling like buzzing happening in my head. Taking action is the act of breaking out of that chrysalis and stretching your big, beautiful wings and flying to a new place that is your dream life. So maybe you're moving right now. For some reason, that's coming up. A lot of moving, maybe having the courage to move out of your hometown, the courage to move away from family, the courage to stop habits that have been crutches for you, things like vaping, things like scrolling, habits that you've kind of been doing as like a no-brainer habit. This is a time that you are really evolving, and just stopping a habit or just moving is stepping into your butterfly self. I've personally done this as I moved. Like, I didn't have wings where I lived before. I have them now, but I didn't have them where I lived before. So this is going to be the best thing for you, but that's not to say that it's not sometimes dark and scary inside that chrysalis. It's not sometimes full of unknown. And unknown is the most difficult thing for the human mind to wrap itself around. That's why we get into fantasy and limerent thinking so often. And guys, I cannot make this up. I just flipped the card. Guess what this says? It is safe for me to explore unknown worlds and to try new things. Oh my God. Yeah, and my third eye, I'm getting a lot of pressure on the third eye right now. Unknown worlds and trying new things. Oftentimes we're so scared to try something new because it is unknown. I know that sounds so elementary, but think about it like this. My partner's from a different country and they eat different foods from me. They have a different cultural upbringing. A lot of the foods that they eat are foods that I personally had never even seen in my lifetime. Like, these were not foods that were served at restaurants or anything like that. And they were foods that were completely unknown. And I was actually just talking with my partner the other night about how a lot of people in the West would be really scared to try these foods because they are unknown. Like, one of the foods that we were talking about is balut, which is like a fertilized duck egg, and people eat the feathers, the beak. Like, this is a delicacy. But in the Western culture where it's really common to eat McDonald's chicken nuggets and to not see those animal parts, like people get squeamish. They're like, oh my gosh, that's so scary. That's so far unknown. But if you don't try that food, you're never gonna know if maybe that is your favorite food. So this is the time for you. That's what this card is saying. You are safe to explore the unknown. The reason that you're safe to explore the unknown is because you are yourself. You are the safety within yourself. If you ever don't like something, you don't have to keep doing it. You can try 4 a.m. morning routines. And if you're like, wow, that absolutely sucked, that was like the worst week of my life that I did those 4 a.m. morning routines, now you know. You've explored the unknown and you've actually created more safety within yourself by trying these different things than always wondering what it would be like. So often people struggle with trusting themselves and trusting their intuition because they don't take those little steps of realizing like, oh, I can try a new food or I can try a new habit and realize new information about myself and feel even more trusting of myself because I was the one that walked myself down this path. I was the one that brought myself this new information. So that is what it is to like become your own higher self, your own guru, your own inner guide. You have that intuitive guidance within yourself, and just like a muscle, like we just need to start practicing, not only using it, but acknowledging, oh wow, I just tried something completely new. It was scary and I am proud of myself and I did a good job. If I don't do that, if I don't actually celebrate myself and remind myself that I'm doing a good job, then I start to shy away from doing new things. They start to feel scarier and scarier and scarier. We need to do the exposure therapy. We need to put ourselves in situations that we can remember that we're safe doing new things. We can get really, really stuck in like going the same route to work every single day, doing the same habits, eating the same foods, or I personally can get so stuck in those things. And so it's important to remind yourself that even though you are a master of your world, there's also like this whole world within your world, right? If I just take a different route to work one day, maybe I drive by like a horse rescue organization and I start volunteering there on the weekends, and they're actually getting rid of a horse that they're like looking for someone who has more time to spend with that horse, and suddenly now I just got a horse for free and like I'm now in like a horse, like right, your whole life can change by you simply driving a different route to work and seeing a sign or something like that. Like, it is so, so magical. So this is your sign to remember that you are safe to explore new things, that you are meant to explore new things, that the more new things that you experience, the more codes that you receive. When we go to a new place, when we travel, when we try a new food, when we have a conversation about a new topic that we aren't really used to talking about, when we go live for the first time, when we start a UGC business, any of the new things that we are doing, we are literally activating codons in our DNA. You are shifting yourself on a cellular level. And that's what it is to become that butterfly. That's what it is to go through this initiation and this transformation. You are actually recoding your mind, your subconscious mind. You're recoding what is possible for you in this reality. That is what is so cool about subconscious recoding, about watching videos like this and having conversations like this, is by literally having this conversation and being here with me today, we are recoding ourselves for more abundance, for more of what we want, and letting go of more of the things that we don't want. Let's keep diving into our cards here. So this card, these are from, what deck is this? This is our Rebecca Campbell Work Your Light Oracle card deck. Absolutely love the Rebecca Campbell decks as beginner decks. Strongly recommend trying them out, especially for, even if it's not your first deck, like I always want more Rebecca Campbell decks because the art is just so, so beautiful on these cards. And what's so cool about Oracle cards is that you can intuitively read not only the art, but also our beautiful, oh my gosh, words, our beautiful words that are here on this card. So this card is absolutely incredible. And I don't know if you can really see all of this art up here, but it is so gorgeous. And I'll just explain an intuitive reading of what this art is. The card says, get grounded. This is a really important card for us empaths, highly sensitives, because I'm gonna be honest, so often when I speak to people, there's like two camps of people that I speak to. One group of people knows that they need to get grounded. They want to get more grounded. They feel very like the waves of emotions can destabilize you. Like life can destabilize you so quickly, so easily. The thoughts of other people, the opinions of other people are so destabilizing that you know that groundedness is something that you need. Then there's another group of people that identify as very, very grounded. They're like, oh, I'm always calm. I'm not easily destabilized. I'm not easily emotionally reactive or anything like that. So I probably don't need that much grounding. But the truth of the matter is that both groups, we all can benefit from grounding. We really, really can. And I think that grounding has been largely misinterpreted over time. There's so many ways to ground the physical body, but we actually have over 12 different layers of energetic bodies in our auric field. And grounding the physical body is just grounding one of those layers. So walking barefoot outside can be amazing for grounding, but there's so much more to grounding than just that. And if you've ever found yourself in emotional spirals, I personally have. I've had panic attacks and things like that in my own energetic history. And grounding outside in those ways, it just doesn't cut it. It's not enough. So what we're talking about when we talk about being grounded is being grounded in your vision, being grounded in your best self-identity, in your best character traits, in your values. Being calm and being grounded are not the same thing, because someone can be very, very calm and very hesitant to take action, very not feeling empowered, right? When we are really fully grounded, we are grounded in our inner peace. We are grounded in our action. Action is the best antidote for anxiety. Proving to ourselves that we can trust ourselves, because we do actually do Pilates every single day, because we do actually get 10,000 steps every single day, because we actually take these steps, we actually are disciplined. That is what can result in a deeper level of spiritual groundedness. Another thing that always grounds me is doing a brain dump, really identifying what is it that is floating around in my 12 layers of energetic bodies, in my mental body, in my emotional body, in my spiritual body, all of this different stuff. What's floating around in there? What's on my heart right now? I went 20 plus years without being in the practice of asking myself every single day, hey, what's on your heart? How are you feeling? How are you doing? Right? And when I started doing that, that's when I started to actually experience what it is to be grounded, not just in a physical way, because you got to do a yoga class outside in the dirt or whatever it is, and like you feel really physically grounded by connecting with nature, but also being grounded in your purpose, in your power, in your confidence. That's what it truly is to be grounded. And we can see this person is sitting and there's all these roses around them. Roses are one of the most high vibrational frequencies and essences. If you haven't gotten yourself some roses recently, this can be your sign to go get yourself some roses. Have roses around the house, make a rose bath, put rose powder into your drinks and things like this. Start to get grounded in the possibility of what could be out there for you. Get grounded in the opportunities that you are magnetizing your way. Be grounded in the change that is inevitable, that's happening throughout your spiritual transformation journey, throughout your evolution. Get grounded in your own the word like weaknesses is coming to mind, in your own shortcomings. Be grounded in the things that you are working on. It is okay to be like, hey, you know what? I'm actually not that good at this thing, but I'm really good at this thing. That is what it is to be confident. When we avoid the things that we're both good at and not good at, we don't feel grounded. That's where we find ourselves just running around outside in the grass with our shoes off, trying to feel a little bit more inner peace. But groundedness is so much deeper than that. It really can be. And if you haven't connected with nature in a while, this gets to be a part of your regular practice. I often get messages asking me, like, how do you have the time for somatic therapy? How do you have the time to go out into nature, to hike on weekends and things like that? And I have the time because I make the time. I prioritize these things. And I would strongly encourage you, if you are an empath or a sensitive being, to get out in nature a lot more. If you're right now, we have like some mosquitoes and things like that. So if nature is not feeling like a good, friendly, comfortable vibe for you, that is completely okay. And I would encourage you to do things like listening to bird frequencies, or introducing incense into your home, or more like natural aromatherapy. There's so many ways that you can connect more with nature, even if going out and immersing yourself in nature isn't really your vibe. But the more we connect with nature, the more grounded we are going to feel, because your soul, the part of you that feels powerful and sexy and confident and able to take action, that is the most natural part of you. That is the instinctual part of you. On an instinctual level, humans love to just go forward. It is the mind. It is not the instinct of the human. It is the mind, the overthinking mind, that tells us, ooh, wait, no, maybe we shouldn't walk there. What if it's sharp? What if that step is going to fall out from under you? Like, maybe you should know where you're going before you start walking in that direction, right? But on a physical and instinctual level, we love to just go for it. And so it's really important for me personally, like one of the ways that I ground myself is I remind myself of the different perspectives within me. I have that human perspective that's going to ask me, like, oh my God, what are people going to think of me, or blah, 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 like the human mind that is constantly going. And then I have this other perspective within me, which is, you are like a tree, and your job today is literally to just like shoot up to the light. That's freaking it. Use the resources you have, share the resources that you can share, like give gifts that you can give to the world, and just keep freaking growing up. That is your job. And when I can remember that perspective, and I can remember a more natural perspective, I love to connect with trees, but we can also gain this through absolutely any animal medicine. Animals can bring so much information for us in our spiritual journey. And I actually added a whole section of that inside of our library. So you can access our animal medicine section, our entire energy cleansing, spiritual meditations, rituals, everything inside of our ritual app for free. You can get a 7-day free trial, check all of the goodies out, and you're probably not going to want to leave. You're probably going to want to stay and enjoy the trial. We've had some people in our community literally for years, because I add new practices every single week. And when we have access to this type of information that is not mainstream knowledge, that is not actually very easy to find, can't find this stuff really on the internet, then our life can feel a lot more vibrant. We can gain a lot more knowledge and information. Even just here on this call, there's been different types of birds that are flying by, there's been different types of insects that I've seen. And if I were just sitting, not filming, I would look up inside of our library the spiritual meaning of all of these different animals, and I would be able to literally get a message from my guides right now about exactly what I should be doing in my day, exactly where I'm at in my spiritual journey, right? I know that Jane Goodall actually just passed away, and I consider her to be somebody who really embodies this energy in such a beautiful way. The energy of being grounded. And one of my absolute favorite clips of Jane Goodall is this clip of them trying to interview her, and she couldn't focus for the interview. She couldn't answer the questions or anything like that at the beginning. She was more focused on the birds that were flying around her, on the different animals that were chirping and doing their different animal activities. And to me, this is actually like very, very grounded. She might not be grounded in the intention that the interviewer had, but she was grounded in her surroundings and in all of these messages that the animals were giving to her. And the more that you take the time to just sit in nature, the more that you actually activate your pineal gland, which is the center of your spiritual gifts and the center of your intuition. And what can happen when you do this is your psychic gifts can start to develop. Psychic gifts are not something that just happen to like a few people. We can all tap into our psychic gifts. And the more that I did this, the more that I actually started tapping into something that I didn't know was even possible, which was interspecies communication. So now I love to sit out and just talk to the animals and talk to the birds, and I can literally have a conversation about my spiritual journey, about what's happening in the world, things of that nature. And seeing people like Jane Goodall or seeing other figures that are very, very connected to that unseen realm, or the realm that is so unseen from so many people, it is so fascinating to me, and I truly see these as some of the most absolute grounded people. So yeah, I just wanted to share that just because I think that we all have different ideas of like what it is to be grounded, right? And different definitions for that. So maybe this is a calling for you to identify what this really could mean perhaps for you. Going into our next card, we have No. And this card is very, very stormy, as well as it has a pyramid at the top. So there's a lot of information here. It says wait, postpone, pause, say no. And you might be like, Marissa, what is going on? You literally were just talking about how this is my sign, this is action. What's going on? Why did we just pull up the No card? And the reason that we pulled this up is because in order to go somewhere in life, in order to go down one journey, we need to say no to other things. If I want to have dinner with you on a Friday night and I invite you to dinner on a Friday night and you really, really want to have dinner with me and I'm like your dream dinner date or something like that, you're going to say no to all of your other suitors and all of the other people that are inviting you to plans on a Friday night. When your neighbor walks up your driveway and goes, hey, do you want to come to my potluck? Like, we're starting in just 2 seconds. You're going to go, no, I have plans. I know what I want and I'm going in that direction. So the no card here is very, very sacred. Your soul has been saying no for a long time and you've been just shook my whole desk. And you've been experiencing it as inner turmoil, which is what all of this storminess is. It's this storm that is covering your ancient wisdom, your path. All of the stormy emotions. Should I go? Should I not go? They're frustrating me so much. I don't like when they say that. Like, all of that is your soul saying, hey, we need a boundary. You need to say no. We need some energetic protection. We need some energetic boundaries. For us that are in service, that love to connect with other people, that love to share our gifts with the world, that have big goals in our life and things like that, we don't often say no because we want to be open to the opportunities, we want to be open to the possibilities and things like that. But you actually can get a lot further in life from not being so open to absolutely everything and instead having an awareness of the tunnel that you want to go down, where you want to shoot your arrow, and saying yes to everything that is in alignment with that and no to the things that are not in alignment. This is actually very, very hard to do. Literally, just last night, I was invited on an all expenses paid, beautiful dream trip, but I have other plans during that time that I am a full body yes to, so I get to say no to the things that are not serving me. And even though that trip is amazing, I know that I'm going to have a trip like that in this lifetime. Right. So like, even you can probably hear in my voice, this was a difficult no. It was a difficult no. I've had so many opportunities that I've had to say no to because it's not perfectly in alignment with the direction that I want to go. And it is a very difficult no. But the reason that we say no sometimes is because you are one person and your energy is the most valuable thing about you. Your energy is your soul essence. And a lot of people are going to want to talk to you about a lot of different things. Like at any time in the day, I can always go down to one of the bars in town, and I'm sure that there's going to be someone there sitting and chatting it up, and right, like there's going to be someone who wants to talk to me about something. And it's my discipline, it's my ability to love my vision and to love my goals that I am not available for that all the time. Sometimes I am, sometimes I love to just sit and chat. I actually think that that is so healthy. It's called weaving. It is an ancient practice. Sitting and just shooting the crap, talking about what's going on, gossiping, all of that stuff. It's actually healthy for the mind, the body, and the soul. But if that's all that you've been doing, or if that's how you tend to wind down, this is a calling to say no. I'm also hearing something about alcohol right now. There's like maybe you want to drink less alcohol, maybe you want to go out a little bit less, you want to not spend so much time doing activities that are not making you money, that are not contributing to an elevated mindset, that are not adding more love into your life. Like if it's not contributing and getting you closer to your goals, then it's a no. And you've been arguing with yourself about this for quite some time, which is what all of this storminess is. But when you actually allow yourself to say no, to create that boundary, that is when you go down this path. This is the path, your ancient soul path to up there, top of the pyramid, your purpose, your destiny. This is where the love, the abundance, all of your desires are. And there's this storm on the path right now. So creating boundaries is a very personalized journey. It really is. The boundaries that I have might be a little bit different than the boundaries that somebody else has who's in a completely different line of work, who likes to wake up at different times of day, who maybe is a different zodiac sign or human design, right? There's so many different components that can influence the boundaries that are the most helpful and useful to us. So inside of our ritual app, I actually have linked a bunch of different workshops that I've shared over the years to help you identify exactly what boundaries are going to help you bring in more money, more love, more of exactly what you desire. And again, we have a free 7-day trial, so you can go check that out, dive in and start elevating your boundaries right away. Learn exactly what you should say no to, what you should say yes to, and what that feels like in your body, right? What that inner turmoil, like we can identify somatically when we feel that shutdown, when we feel those sorts of sensations, that's a call for a boundary. So that is a skill that we get to learn within ourselves, and there's plenty of workshops and meditations and ritual practices that can help you walk out of this cloud and come back on to your soul path that's going to lead you to the top of your pyramid. I also want you to, I'm just getting this download that you get to know an idea of what you want the top of that pyramid to look like. It's okay to get specific. It's okay to manifest physical things. It's okay to ask yourself, like, what would I wear when I get my dream job, or when I get that promotion at work, or something like that? Like, what is that really going to feel like for me? What is it going to look like for me? What is the car that I'm driving to work that day? What do I eat at lunch? Like, ask yourself all of these little details, because the more that you can understand what it looks like at the top of your pyramid, and the more that you can tap into that frequency and that feeling and that emotion, the easier it is to get on that path and to walk out of that storm that has been shaking you up for quite some time. So if you've been shaken up by this storm, getting grounded in your boundaries, right? Like these things really go together. It's really, really fascinating. This card is upside down, so it's in reverse. Let's see what it says. Wow. Wow. I have used this deck for a really long time and I've never ever seen this card before. This is the first time that this card has ever been pulled. Whew. This is really powerful. The card says unbound. Releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. Now you might be wondering, how do you release a past life? Isn't it like something that you experienced in the past? What's going on there? So let's talk a little bit about this. This has actually been coming up a lot in my recent client sessions. Let's see what angle we want to go into this from. So when we think about past lives, there's a lot that can come up. If this is your first time embarking on the topic of past lives, one of the most common questions that I tend to get is, what if I did something bad in the past? Or like, what if something bad happened to me? And typically when we think about past and parallel lifetimes, we can pretty much assume that you have experienced both, that there's been parallel dimensions where you've been the murderer and there's parallel dimensions where you've been murdered. And these different experiences imprint on our soul. And a lot of the blockages that we experience in this lifetime are actually imprints from these old lifetimes. So I know there is, oh my gosh, this is going to sound pretty wild if you're not used to this information, but we're going to hop into it together, right? One of the really, really common past lives that comes up for my clients is a past or parallel lifetime regarding mermaids on this planet. And this is very controversial, but the reason that this started to come up for me is because I work with a lot of women that have experienced a lot of trauma regarding their divine feminine energy. I used to specialize in trauma. I don't anymore, but I used to really dive into these types of topics with women, and oftentimes women who have experienced CPTSD, domestic violence, this sort of trauma and this kind of stuff, when we look at it from our past lives, what we'll do is we'll go into a hypnotherapy session and we'll ask the soul to take us to the root cause of where this pattern first imprinted on a soul level, where this code was originally imprinted, so that we can start to recode this and create a new lifetime now. This is also how it works with addiction to substances. This is really like how hypnosis and hypnotherapy works. We go into our subconscious and our soul's library or your Akashic records, and you identify exactly where that blockage is. You release that blockage. You don't have to feel the emotional pain. And this is why hypnotherapy is one of the most effective tools for rewiring our subconscious and helping us live a completely new life. So when we go into that soul pain, I took over 10,000 different people into past life regressions, and one of the most common places that we would go is into this mermaid parallel reality. And so many people who've experienced this mermaid parallel reality often experience a lot of disconnect in the romantic relationships in this lifetime. Maybe you tend to attract a partner that is emotionally available. Maybe you tend to attract like the same type of person over and over and over. So every time you go and date somebody new, you heal from this relationship. You're like, wow, that was so toxic. I never want to be treated like that again. I want to make sure that I heal and that I'm attracting a better partner in the future. And then you go out, you start dating again, and this new person has all of those same old traits and might even say those same old things. So these are some of the ways that we can identify soul patterns in this lifetime that were imprinted, created, and coded from past or parallel lifetimes. And there is a lot of pain on this earth. There's a lot more pain than we are aware of consciously, because it is too much pain for the mind to be fully aware of. But there have been lots and lots of wars throughout Like literally every single inch of this earth has different history of both light and darkness. And when we look at our past lives, oftentimes there is unresolved, I guess that's what you can call like pain or wounds. It's like unresolved things. So maybe there was a lifetime that you had a beautiful relationship. And I know that this is like so similar to so many things that we see in movies because movies often parallel exactly what I'm talking about here. But like maybe a lifetime where you were a mermaid and you had this beautiful relationship with someone who was a human and it was so beautiful and loving and symbiotic and absolutely amazing. And they then go show like their brother and they're like, hey, like I have been dating this mermaid and it's amazing and it's all this magical stuff. Let me go introduce you to this beautiful, incredible, sexy, divine, feminine mermaid who's like a water spirit, right? And so then the brother comes and meets you and there is some sort of battle. Maybe they manipulate you, maybe they trap you, right? And this beautiful, loving relationship is no longer beautiful and loving anymore, right? And so we have these memories deep within our subconscious, whether that personally resonates with you or not. Memories of times that we've trusted people that we shouldn't have trusted, memories deep in our subconscious past and parallel lifetimes of times that we weren't valued, right? Like a mermaid or a divine feminine interdimensional being, which if you're finding this video, I can guarantee that you probably have some sort of past history as a starseed, as some sort of mystical interdimensional being on this planet at some point, and you had such value, right? Think about a fairy that just is floating around and like the way that they see the world is so incredible. And now think about the people that wanted to trap that fairy in a jar, like the story of Tinkerbell, right? We've seen this play out over and over and over again. And all of this can really accumulate within our subconscious mind, within our nervous system, blocking us from being able to experience pleasure, blocking us from being able to manifest that partner that is not like the rest, that is not fitting that old pattern of giving you less than you deserve, right? So this is a time that you are naturally breaking free from all of these things that have been holding you back. And I know that we're talking so out there, we're talking about past lives, parallel lives, interdimensional beings, like galactic soul wounds, like all of this stuff here, but just bring it back down to a tangible everyday thing. You break free from these old soul patterns, from these old contracts, from karma, from curses, whatever it is that you want to think of it as. You break free from those things by taking small actions. One of the things that I did for ancestral healing was I started to take baths every single Monday morning because I know that every person in my lineage that I'm aware of had to work very, very hard on Monday mornings. And by giving myself the gift of a slow morning, by allowing myself to just play in the water and be immersed in like, ooh, what bubble bath am I going to use today? That is ancestral healing. That is reprogramming, recoding my whole entire nervous system for more peace, more abundance. That is getting rid of deep contracts that my ancestors held, that my past lives held, that my parallel lives held, right? Like you are literally recoding your DNA by doing something that you've never done before, even if it's just having a smoothie that you made for yourself, taking a bath in the morning when that's not something that you've ever done. When it comes to healing from these really deep, painful things that are so complex that we often don't understand, it really can be as simple as like going and brushing your hair. It can be these little things, but we have to have awareness of exactly what they are in order to like, or you don't actually, you don't have to have awareness of exactly what they are. You can just do self-care practices all day, every day, and set yourself free in every single thing that you do from the past, from contracts, from wounds. You can create new soul unity and alignment. You can recalibrate and rejoin forces with your guides, with your higher self by simply just doing those little habits. And that's why I always say you are always just one choice away from a better day. You can heal past life, like war wounds, wounds of being a prisoner of war in a past life, like deep, deep stuff. We can heal it by making a cup of tea. We can heal it by having a cultural dish that we haven't eaten before, or a food from a certain part of the world, or buying a crystal, or like there's little things that we can do that massively elevate our frequency. And when they elevate our frequency, look at these beautiful women that are like floating up. This is what it is. Like, imagine you just have a little tea with honey and you start floating up, and all of these old cords, all of these old patterns, these old things that have been keeping you stuck, they're just falling away, and you're just floating up and up and up away from it all by simply just pouring into yourself, by simply eating healthy food, by simply being in alignment with the things that feel good for you, and focusing on pleasure and focusing on joy. The next card that we have is share your voice, come out of the cave, persecution, expression. Yes, it is time. This is what we've been saying all along. It is time. Stop waiting for the sign. Stop waiting to have all of the steps laid out for you. Stop waiting to make sure that it makes sense. It is time. One of the most attractive things that you can possibly do in this lifetime is literally just have the confidence to be yourself. And what I mean by attractive is not just like romantic attraction. This is what it means to be magnetic, to attract clients into your business, to attract opportunities, to attract friends, all of the above, anything it is that you are trying to attract. We need to share. We need to show ourselves. We need to put ourselves out there. I have a few clients who just started posting on TikTok, who just started their UGC businesses, who decided that these are the 30 days that they are going to go full time online. And this is the time to do it. This is the time to do it. I have seen so many people do this. Of course, being a full-time creator for 15 years, most of my friends are full-time creators. I've helped so many people become full-time creators, and there's different ways that we navigate things. The way that you do anything is a reflection of your own mindset. And one of the most limiting things that we can do for ourselves is try to wait until we see all of the steps laid out. When we are living life, this is not like building a house. You don't get the blueprint first. That's just not how it works. And the more that we can have courage and confidence to be able to just follow our intuition blindly, the more fruitful life is going to be, the more that we're going to harvest. There's all this like fruitful harvest energy that's coming up in this reading as well, because by simply taking these actions, there is more to harvest. The things that you're doing now are going to come back tenfold. You are planting seed, like the actions you are doing, the habits you are starting, it's like planting little seeds. And a year from now, those little seeds are going to be your best yielding crops. But you need to plant them now. You need to start sharing your voice now. I have some friends that I've seen start YouTube channels, podcasts, things like that, that they literally say like, I have no idea where I'm going with this. I have no idea what I'm doing with this, but I just felt called to like sit down and make this today. So I'm making it today. And those videos do so much better than waiting to have everything lined up, than waiting to know all of the information, because no matter how much we plan, there is also this thing called God's plan. I know the ego likes to think that we want to control everything. We want to control our mindset. We want to control our emotions. We want to control so much, right? We want to be in control because it helps us feel better. But ultimately, God is in control. And no matter how much we plan, there is a divine plan in place. And by not taking action when you receive that divine guidance to film that video, to go do that thing, whatever it could be, you are blocking yourself. You're not taking the step on the divine plan. This is what it is to be in that storm, right? The path is right there, the path to the top of the pyramid. And you're like, but should I? But like, is it embarrassing? I don't know. And that is what is slowing down this whole process. People who are able to manifest so much faster than where you're at currently are allowing themselves to take that action. They're forgiving themselves throughout the process, just like how we talked about in other cards, right? You are signing up to make mistakes and learn as you go and build trust and build confidence and to keep going and to keep building. That is what you are signing up for. And one of the most beautiful things that you can do is just to make a vow and a promise to yourself that no matter where you go in this journey that we call life, no matter what steps you take, that you are going to be kind to yourself, gentle with yourself, and compassionate towards yourself every single step of the way. If you make a mistake, you better be the first person to remind yourself that you're doing something for the first time, that you learn through making mistakes, that making mistakes is a good thing, it is not embarrassing, right? You get to be your own best friend. You get to be your own cheerleader throughout this whole entire process because you are the coolest person. Like your guides, your higher self, all of these different parts of you, you can kind of think of it as like a little crowd, this little crowd of people that make up who you are. If you've ever done like internal family systems or parts integration, maybe you're also aware of this, like you can kind of see yourself as like a little crowd of people, your inner child, your inner teen, all of these different beings. And ultimately, this whole crowd of people is cheering for you. You have 32 point, I don't even know how many trillion cells in your body that every single moment of every single day are regenerating, are healing themselves, are doing the things that they need to do so that you can film that video, so that you can take that bath, so that you can take the action to start being your butterfly self. We're no longer the caterpillar self. We're burning the bridges, we're burning the ships. We love our caterpillar self, but we are ready to experience what it's like to fly through life. And that is why this video came up for you today. This card is also reversed. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. So this is soul family calling in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. So I absolutely love this card. Funny that we were talking about mermaids before, because here we have some whales and some dolphins, which mermaids, whales, and dolphins all work together in holding up a very high vibrational frequency on this planet, and very, very profound. This card was in reverse, which often means the opposite of what is said on this card. So the way that I'm interpreting this card right now is not so much that you're meant to like go find your new best friend, that you're meant to go connect with lots of people in a very, very deep way. Maybe more so like connecting with the different parts of yourself, your higher self, maybe connecting with animal medicine, realizing how connected you really are, realizing that every time you step out of the house, every time that you are alone in nature, you are truly never alone. You are surrounded by your guides, interdimensional beings. You have this soul family, just like those 32.7 trillion cells that are all rooting for you, that are here supporting you every step of the way. And so often in our Western society, or for myself, this is what I experienced in our Western culture. Maybe you experienced something different. Let me know in the comments down below. But I feel like I was really led to believe that there's somebody else out there that's gonna have the answers for me. Somebody else out there, like I'm waiting for my friends. I'm waiting for my soul family. I'm waiting for this person to come into my life. And when I realized that I am that person, that is when I feel like my life truly started. No waiting energy. Yes, patience is amazing, but you're not meant to just be sitting around and waiting for somebody to give you the answers or waiting for somebody to create joy in your life. You can be that person. If you need someone to talk to, you can speak to your guides, you can speak to your intuition, you can speak to your higher self, you can do a journal exercise where you talk back and forth to yourself, like speaking from your lower self to your higher self. These are all of the different ways that you can connect with your soul family. And when you have this level of confidence and connection within yourself, when you meet people that are in alignment with you, you instantly become best friends. So you are setting yourself up for beautiful, beautiful connection with other people. you are. And this is on your horizon. You're not going to be a hermit. You're not going to be alone. You're not going to be in solitude or constantly waiting for people to come. But right now, it might be a really good time to start to say no to some of those plans, to not go out so much, to not have just casual, random social gatherings, because you don't need it. It's not moving the needle in your life. It's not going to help you start flying through life. You've been doing a lot of those things, and maybe we've even been overindulging when it comes to just like sitting at a bar, drinking, talking about things that don't really matter. Maybe that's not something that you do. Maybe you just find yourself having conversations that don't light you up, right? Like maybe you have been experiencing a lot more relationships and conversations and interactions that you've had to recover from than you want to be, right? So this is the time to really cultivate a very, very positive relationship within yourself, within your own internal family system, and have interactions within yourself that you don't have to recover from. Start to rewire the mind, rewire the subconscious, so that you can actually be your own cheerleader, actually be a friend to yourself, and stop telling yourself things that are really harmful to yourself, that are actually holding you back, that make you want to wait, that make you feel lonely, and all of this stuff. So your soul family is wanting to connect with you, and I truly believe that they are actually doing the same exact things that you're doing right now. Sometimes we need to go through periods of solitude or periods of like a lower frequency even, and to work on ourselves and lift ourselves back up. And then once we're lifted back up, then we can easily find each other in that place. So I encourage you to just continue to pour into yourself and to lift yourself back up, and to also follow your intuition. Do random things. I know that like I literally met somebody that I really vibed with and aligned with, and I'm so grateful that I met them. I met them by going camping on a Monday. I went to a campsite and I just felt so intuitively called. Like there was just something that was like, you need to go to this place on this day. So I was like, okay, I spent the whole entire day listening to my intuition, following my intuition. And of course, like it's a Monday. I have other things that I could be doing on this day. You know what I mean? But yeah, it led me to connecting with somebody that could perhaps be in my soul family. And this is what is available to us when we, oh my goodness, there is a bug in here. Flies are spies, flies are spies. I think I killed it. That was a giant mosquito. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe I didn't kill it. We'll see. But anyways, by the way, I don't edit these videos and these podcasts because I think that humanness is being edited out of life right now. And the more that we see humanness, the more that we see people sniffle, cough, do human things, the more that we realize that being a human is actually not that embarrassing. It's not embarrassing to feel destabilized sometimes. It's not embarrassing to not know which way is up sometimes. This is part of the human experience and it is completely okay. And watching videos like this is actually how I tricked my brain into feeling more confident in myself. Watching videos that are not super highly edited with sound effects and things like that. So that's why I actually do this on purpose and I don't edit. Oh my God, I have something in my mouth and I just hope it's not that fly. That's why I actually don't edit these videos on purpose, because I know how healing it can be for our subconscious mind. And I would really, really love if you enjoy our videos, if you could comment down below and give this video a thumbs up, because I know that this is really different and this is not on trend or anything like that, but it's something that I personally felt really called to do, and I just want to know if that is an editing style that you've also been enjoying lately. We're going to finish off our card pull with a few different decks. I just want to grab a few more final cards for us. And I'm just asking right now, like, what are the steps that we should be taking in order to really step into that best energy version of us? Oh my gosh, this mosquito is crazy. Guys, I killed it! Sorry for all my vegans out there. I love animals, I love life, but sometimes there's certain animals that are just not welcome in your space. And I've been having such insane mosquito bites lately. I don't know what is going on. There's been such a shift out here because I live in this really rural area of the desert that has never had mosquitoes. And for some reason, now we have mosquitoes. Not sure what's up with that, but yeah. Not a fan, not a fan. Since I'm not used to having mosquitoes, I didn't like grow up in an area that has mosquitoes or anything like that. I have no idea what are like different holistic methods to prevent bugs and stuff. So I have been struggling. If you have any recommendations that you can share with me, please let me know in the comments down below. Okay. Now, let's dive into any final messages, what we should be doing, what we should be focusing on, what actions we can be taking to step into this energy. And I like to just intuitively pull cards. I think all card readers really like read cards a little bit differently in a way that works for them. So I actually like the way that I pull cards is I kind of see them. I don't like shuffle my cards. I can see the card that wants to be pulled out. And then also sometimes cards will just kind of like fly out of the deck, just absolutely randomly. So we're just asking if there's any things, this one, if there's anything that needs to be shared, any final messages. Ooh, these all just flew. Okay. Any final messages or any actions that can be taken? This one. So I see, like, as you can see right now, these cards all look the same, but for some reason, my third eye, like, highlights this card. Like, this card is really sticking out to us, so that's going to be the one that we grab. And then let's put these away. Put it away now. And finish up our reading. Okay, diving into all of the cards that just popped out. There's so many here. These ones, this is the last one that I pulled, but these ones just popped out. So this one says, challenge your perception, love that you are different, and be vigilant. Very, very powerful. Very powerful. So we have this beautiful being here. I don't know if you can see this like rabbit butterfly being. I absolutely love this image so much because I feel like this shows the uniqueness of your soul. You have this like fiery tail, you have butterfly wings, you have a soft bunny essence and aura to you while also being this like powerful warrior. Right, there's all of these different components of you. You are a unique being. You are a multidimensional being. There's so many different hobbies that you can have, interests that you can have. The way that people see you could be in all these different ways, right? There's so much to you. There really, really is. Like, when I think about your soul essence, I'm seeing like this crystal, like this giant crystal that has all these multifaceted edges, and when you look in the different faces of the crystal, you can actually see like different rainbows or different reflections, or there's so much to you. And oftentimes when it comes to people like this, we've been taught or told throughout our life that we are too much, that we're meant to fit into this little box of what other people expect for us to be. But the truth of the matter is that your value comes from your uniqueness. You are uniquely valuable, uniquely worthy. The things that make you you, the things that make you quirky are actually the things that make you really, really cool, and the things that make you magnetic to your manifestations, to your soul family, and everything it is that you desire. So the more that you can embrace the cringe parts of yourself, the weird parts of yourself, the unusual parts of yourself, the parts of you that you've been told are too loud, too much, too weird, the more that you become magnetic for what is actually in your highest alignment. So this is your sign to really not only just embrace your uniqueness, but to love that you are different. To truly love that you are different. Not trying to be like anyone else, not trying to have a business like anyone else's or career like anyone else's, not comparing your income, not comparing your relationship, like being yourself, identifying what you really want and creating exactly that in your life. Go after your desires, not what your parents wanted for you, but what you want for yourself, what your soul wants, what you wanted in that past life, romantic mermaid lifetime. We also have challenge your perception. And on this card, we have the most beautiful, look at this. I don't know. Can you see? Is that gonna work? No, I don't know. I don't think that you can really see. There we go. Okay. Look how beautiful that angel being is. This angel not only has wings, but also a sword, a perfect balance of divine feminine and masculine energy, and it's standing on a pedestal. Challenge your perception. So this has to do with seeing things from a different perspective, right? We have our mental perspective, the mind that is thinking about our to-do list, that's thinking about what other people are going to think about us and all of this stuff. And then we have that higher perspective, which is you are literally, by answering your emails, paving a new road for yourself in your life. You are creating a new universe within this world, right? There's so much that is happening. When you create a landing page, you are birthing a universe into this world. You are creating a dimension that did not exist before. And this is why sometimes when it comes to entrepreneurship or leading ourselves, it can be so, so hard because we're thinking about it from that lower perspective of like, oh crap, I can't get myself to wake up at 4 a.m. We're not thinking about it from the higher perspective, which is the version of me that wakes up at 4 a.m. is like a version of me that I've literally never met before, who's going to have energy and positivity and clarity and inspiration that I have never held before. And I get to prepare to meet that version of me and become that version of me, right? There's multiple perspectives happening at all times. I also love to look at the higher perspective whenever I'm in a conflict with somebody. In my past relationships, I don't so much, I mean, I actually do use this in my relationship, but I just don't have as many conflicts in my relationship, or we navigate them with a lot more ease. But in past relationships where I would find myself in a lot of conflict or in really like stressful conversations, not even romantic relationships, it can just be like a one-off conversation that were really butting heads, right? One of the things that I always would do is I would ask myself, like, what is the higher perspective of this interaction? What is their soul asking for and what is my soul asking for that's getting lost in translation? Because oftentimes that is what a conflict is. It's that our souls have different needs, we have different perspectives, things like that. And it was actually like, I used to have anxious attachment. So every time I had a conflict with a loved one or something like that, I literally felt like it was the end of the world. I felt like we were gonna break up. Like, I can't recover from this. This is the worst thing in the entire world. And learning how to adopt this higher angelic perspective of all situations is actually what allowed me to shift into a more secure attachment style, where I no longer struggle with conflicts as much or even have conflicts to that degree anymore, because whenever there's a disagreement or a difference of perspectives, I can kind of zoom out, see it from that higher angelic perspective, see like, oh wow, my partner is valuing this and I'm valuing this, and we can come together in this way. Or, oh wow, this person doesn't feel that their needs are met in these areas, and so they're projecting and lashing that out onto me. And I can like take on a higher perspective, even though I don't deserve that, or I don't deserve to be lashed out at or anything, and just tell them, you know what, like, I hear you and I felt exactly what you felt before. Like, that's so frustrating and I'm sorry you're experiencing that. Right? That person who's lashing out at you and is projecting onto you is going to immediately be disarmed. So your perspective is actually the thing that allows things to flow into your way. I remember there was a time that I was working in an office and there was a mistake that was made. I think I was like double booked. I can't even like remember the details of it now. I think I was double booked for a client, or like I wasn't paid for one of the clients or something like that. And yeah, so I felt super wronged by that, right? When I saw that that had happened, I was like, oh my God, they don't respect me. They're not paying me. They're disrespecting my time. Like, how could they do this? Blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, wait a second, there's another perspective here, which is this is a huge corporation that is managing thousands and thousands of people. And maybe this is something that was just overlooked, like it was human error, it was a mistake. And what if I just went in to talk to my manager and say, hey, like, I just want to let you know, instead of me going to them and telling them, hey, you made a mistake and this is so wrong and you shouldn't be doing all of these things. I actually went in with a completely different perspective, and I came in and I said, hey, I think I'm making a mistake in how I'm reading this in the portal. Can you help me? Like, I don't think I was trained in this. I think I'm the one making a mistake right now. I must be making a mistake, right? I took the responsibility of the situation, and once I did that, everything was different immediately. Right? That person was like, oh my God, like, we didn't pay you, like, we double booked you, like, we are so sorry, we made the mistake, right? They were able, and that felt really amazing because I didn't think that I made, but I wanted the situation solved, ultimately, is what I wanted. I wanted a solution for the situation. And when you go into a conversation and you approach it through the perspective of like, you wronged me, you disrespected me, you guys suck at all of these things, they're probably not going to want to help you, right? They're probably not going to be on your side. And we are currently living in a world that I'm not even going to go into the extent of the amount of war and us versus them energy that we experience on this planet. It is up to you to create peace. And this is one of the ways that you create peace. Instead of having the us versus them energy of like, wow, my manager is so mean and blah, 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 blah. Instead of that, reminding ourselves, wow, everyone is human. Let me approach this from a completely different perspective so that everyone can feel good in this situation and the issue is still going to get solved, right? That's a perspective shift. There's been times that I felt very wronged by someone and I'm like, how could they do X, Y, and Z and blah, 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 like they suck, blah, 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 right? Our ego loves to go off in that direction. And I took a few deep breaths and I shifted myself around and I asked myself, actually, did I do anything to contribute to this? Maybe I didn't set a boundary at the beginning. Maybe I didn't communicate my boundary well. Maybe I didn't even know that I needed a boundary in this area, right? And they're highlighting that to me right now. Maybe this doesn't have to do with them at all. And nothing in life is personal. So the faster that we're able to adopt that higher perspective and see things from a higher lens, the more peace and ease we're going to get throughout that journey. This being, this angelic higher perspective being, is like on a pedestal and they have a sword. So they're clearing the path for you. They're clearing your obstacles out of the way. And then they're also on this higher perspective, this higher pillar. You can think of this pillar as like, on fire, this word's not working. Like the whole world is happening here. And then there's this pillar and on top of the pillar, like on top of a light pole or something like that. So that's the higher perspective, looking down on all of the conflicts that are happening in the world and things like that. And the higher perspective energy is the perspective of love, of unity. Instead of us versus them, instead of I'm right, they're wrong, it's us versus the problem. This is the most empowering perspective. Like if you take nothing else away from this episode and away from today, I hope that this can deeply support you. Instead of thinking of issues as like, it's me versus them, or I'm gonna win or they're gonna win, thinking of it as it's us versus the issue. we together are facing this problem. We together are facing this issue. And this is really effective in romantic relationships, but this is also effective even if someone's like being rude to you at the grocery store or something, like in absolutely anything. The next card that we have, we're just getting to our last cards now. Embrace the feminine. You know you need to. You know you need to. Feminine energy is where creativity comes from. It's where intuition comes from. It's where our higher perspective comes from. The more that we embrace the feminine, the more wisdom we can gain, the more pleasure we can feel, the more ease, the more magnetism. It all comes from feminine energy. And feminine energy is one of the things that was, like, I feel like so many different, like, throughout history, there have been so many attempts to wipe out feminine energy from our culture, from our society. Feminine energy is not really awarded or respected the same way that masculine energy often is. Like, somebody's ability to be creative or to create abstract art is not rewarded the same way that it is to be able to run as fast as you can, or to get certain numbers, like let's say you generate like $30,000 a day with ad. Like, that's a masculine energy thing. Feminine energy is the ability to nurture yourself and to take care of yourself throughout that process. But both of these energies are absolutely necessary and absolutely needed to achieve any goal. You need to tap into both the feminine flow of your soul's flow, your own timeline, things like that, as well as the masculine discipline and devotion to taking action, to having structure, to setting yourself up to win, to being able to see where are the gaps, where are the holes in your journey that you get to fill, right? So both of these things get to work together. And this beautiful card, she's holding an egg, which just shows that you are stepping into a very, very fertile time. You, just like we were talking about, she's pregnant, she's holding an egg, she is of nature. As you connect with nature and your inner nature, your divine feminine energy, you are birthing this new reality for yourself. You're getting to live life from a higher perspective. You're getting to fly through life as opposed to crawling through life, right? So that is what is available for us as we step into that feminine energy. More pleasure, more peace, more calm, less stress, all of the things that we truly, truly desire. The last card that popped out from this deck is Calm in the Storm. Change is inevitable, shifts are happening, there is so much happening in this world, and we can create calmness and peace by maintaining that peaceful perspective, maintaining a high perspective of ourselves. When you're sad, instead of being like, oh my God, here I'm sad again, we can be like, wow, I am a warrior of emotion who's gaining wisdom from my inner subconscious realms, right? You get to choose the perspective that you have of yourself. This one is the self-fulfilling prophecy card. Take small steps to diminish your worrying. Know it's going to be okay, and so it is. There was a time in my life that I felt so much anxiety and chronic stress, and I would tell myself over and over, I am okay. Everything's going to be okay. Nothing can stop me from feeling okay. Everything is okay. I used to just chant this in my mind over and over and over again, all throughout the day. And sometimes that's where we are. Sometimes that's what it is to take that small step to diminish our worrying. Sometimes that small step comes in, like, right now I really, really love doing a 5-minute EFT practice as part of my morning ritual. And this is just a 5-minute small step that instantly rewires my energy, that elevates my aura, that raises my frequency and makes me feel more confident, more purposeful, and more magnetic to my manifestations and to my opportunities. Ever since I started doing daily EFT, my life has completely changed. There is no manifestation tool that is going to change your life faster than EFT, in my opinion. And there's so many different EFT practices you can do. There's different ways that people facilitate EFT. I like to facilitate EFT in a completely channeled method, and I have all of my channeled guided EFT meditations inside of our library. You can access our whole entire library for free. All you have to do is check out the description box down below in order to start your free 7-day free trial and start seeing some shift in your energetic field, in your inner peace, your inner confidence, your inner clarity. And yeah, I have seen people enjoy these EFT practices for years and years and years and continue to use that same 5-minute practice every single day to evolve and transform their life. But I also love to switch things up. Some days I have 5 minutes, some days I have 50 minutes. Some days I want to listen to a full, deep chakra cleanse, cord cutting meditation while I'm laying in the bath for hours and hours and hours. And all of those practices are available inside of our library. So all you have to do to start your free trial is go check out the description box down below, and you are going to start to feel that shift right away, which is so beautiful. And that's why I created our beautiful ritual app. Our final card for today, it's so funny. I didn't know what these cards were before I flipped them over. But it's so funny how like we pull the same energy over and over and over. And this is just confirmation that this message, like when you have a certain frequency, you're going to pull that same message. When you need a certain message, you're going to get that same message over and over and over. You're going to get that same message through your physical symptoms. You're going to get that same message through these different cards, through the animal messages, through your dreams, through your emotions. Sometimes we miss the message. Sometimes we misinterpret our dream, we misinterpret our stress or our anxiety, and that's why it's so valuable to get a message over and over and over, to always be open to looking up what that animal message could mean for you, what this symbol could possibly mean for you, because it's very, very easy for us to miss these messages. We live a very busy life, right? Like life is busy. We're constantly thinking about things. We're constantly doing things. So we often miss our messages. But here we have a card that has the exact same message that we had before. And this is from a completely different deck, pulled at complete random. And it is forgiveness. Forgiveness is the first step towards letting go of hurt and emotional pain. It heals only you. Forgiveness is truly, I know that we've talked about it before, but it is so, so powerful in letting go. I have led people through forgiveness guided meditations that they have told me, like, there has never been anything that they've experienced that is more life-changing. Some of my absolute longest and most in-depth testimonials all come from guided forgiveness meditations, because oftentimes we don't realize how hard we are on ourselves or how much we've been holding on to like that harsh inner critic and that really intense perfectionism, etc., etc. We don't realize it until we let it go. And it isn't until we actually are free from that stress that you're like, oh my God, I didn't even realize how much stress I was holding. I didn't even realize how much I was self-sabotaging. I didn't even realize how much I was blocking myself. So this is your sign. You don't need any other sign other than this to go do a cord cutting guided meditation, listen to some healing frequencies, write yourself a love letter, do something to lighten the load, to let go, to forgive yourself. I know that it can be kind of a touchy topic when talking about forgiveness of others who have wronged us. And I'm going to say that that's between you and your higher self and your guides. If you want some help in translating that conversation, you can always send me a private message within our ritual app. I do have a private direct messenger over there where I can give you personalized recommendations based on what is coming up for you. But I'm not going to tell you like, hey, you need to forgive every single person who's ever wronged you in your entire life. That is up to you. And when you are ready to do that is when you are going to feel ready to do that. But for right now, what this card is really talking about is forgiving yourself. This is about yourself. This is about the weight that you've been carrying this whole time. It's like trying to run when you have a weight chained to your ankle. And when we forgive ourselves, we can cut that chain and we can start to run a lot faster. Look at this woman who is dancing in the moon with the stars and the galaxy around her. Like, this is what is available for us when that chain is not holding us back, slowing us down. And you won't realize what those chains are until you get rid of them. A lot of people are so scared to go into healing work and shadow work and forgiving themselves and doing all of this stuff because you think that you have to fully relive all of that pain. But that is one of the biggest myths and one of the biggest misconceptions. You can fully reset your auric field, your mind. You can release old energy from your body by simply listening to guided meditations, by simply doing 5-minute EFT practices, by introducing more peace and more pleasure into your life. You have been used to the pain. You've been used to what it feels like to carry around this heaviness this whole entire time. We don't need to get you more used to that feeling. In fact, we need to do the opposite, and that's why manifestation and healing work is also about raising your personal frequency, because by simply raising your personal frequency, getting used to what it feels like to experience love and joy and laughter and like squealing of joy, like we need to get you more used to those feelings. You've been used to all of the stuff that is not happiness and health and pleasure. We want to be more used to the happiness and the health and the pleasure, and that's why one of the best things that you can do for both your healing and your manifestation journey is like guided meditations that can help activate your chakras, that can activate more pleasure, more positive thinking, listening to affirmations, subliminals that can rewire your subconscious so that your baseline thought process is just empowering, positive, and confident. Whew, what a reading. Oh my goodness. I think this is the longest video that we have done so far on the podcast, which is so exciting. I loved this. I love getting to spend a little bit more time diving a little bit deeper with you into these topics, having these conversations with you. And if you resonated with this video or any of the messages here, please give this video a thumbs up. Make sure that you comment down below, and it really does help our channel. I know that you might hear that a lot, but it really does help, and I do read all of the comments, and I love to hear from you. And yeah, I'm just wishing you the most amazing day as you embark on this new chapter, as you start to stretch out your wings and fly through life. I want you to know that the wind is lifting up beneath your wings to raise you up. You are surrounded by love. Everything is already paved. Like, this path has been carved out for you. All you get to do now is take those steps and enjoy the views and enjoy the journey. I'm sending you so much love. I hope that you have the most amazing rest of your day, or whatever time of day it is that you are watching this video. Thank you so much for being a part of this community, and please share this video with someone else who maybe needs a little validation, maybe needs a little guidance during this time. Or if you enjoyed this video, you can share it on your stories on whatever platform that you like to use for social media. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys. Bye.